This video is brought to you by Mack Weldon, clothing that looks good and has other benefits. Avengers Infinity War might be the most anticipated movie of 2017. You know, because the only Star Wars movie is going to be a Han Solo film. What Marvel has achieved is unprecedented. 10 years of building a shared universe that consists of dozens of movies, TV shows, and one-shots that on the whole have been very positively received, with only a few missteps. Yes, I'm specifically referring to The Inhumans. It's so bad. Have you ever seen it? It's impossibly bad. Regardless, let's break down the first Infinity War trailer. Bearing in mind, definitive spoilers for all previous Marvel movies and potential spoilers for this film. But a lot of this is speculation and will probably turn out to be wrong, so who knows, mate? Right, I figure a good way to kick this off is by catching up on where all the main players are at the beginning of this film. Right, Iron Man. Still probably hung up on the time Captain America nearly beat the mustache off his face, but compensating by acting smug and superior to a teenage boy. Spider-Man. Turned down a new suit, pretty happy with himself. His aunt finds out about him, however, and he's all, what? Steve Rogers. In hiding. Let go of the Captain America mantle, soon to be bearded, still handsome, well-regarded war criminal.
Thank you, Captain. I'm pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now, but whatever. I have to show these videos. It's required by the state. Let's do it.
Hawkeye the Falcon, Ant-Man. Busted out of superhero jail, probably in hiding to some extent, most likely steering clear of public appearances and Baskin Robbins and whatnot.
Could you just take care of this idiot? Thanks.
Black Widow. Went into exile for a bit after helping Captain America, probably. Current state of solo movie, there isn't one. The Hulk, Thor, Loki, Korg, all about to rendezvous with Thanos' ship, in a lot of trouble probably. T'Challa, unclear where he's at, movie's not out yet. Though from this trailer, definitively lives through his solo movie to become the King of Wakanda. Spoiler alert. War Machine, spine broken, because Vision shot a laser beam right into him. Jeez, there's a lot of these guys. This is a terrible idea. Guardians of the Galaxy. Up a few members with the inclusion of Mantis, Nebula, and James Gunn's brother. The Guardians films, with the exception of that post-credits scene from Volume 2, take place a few years before the events of Ragnarok, meaning Groot is now a teenager, Peter Quill and Gamora probably have some kind of relationship, who knows. Rocket will almost certainly act the same, despite some character growth, and Drax hates Thanos for getting a boring blue guy to kill his family. Doctor Strange, hanging out in New York with Wong, he's better at magic now, his hands are still shit. The Vision and Scarlet Witch, growing closer as a couple probably. Bucky, frozen in ice until someone figures out how to get him not to kill people when you say certain words to him. I still make the recommendation that he ties his hair back in a fight. That is a visual hazard and a punch in the face waiting to happen. Nick Fury is... I don't know. He probably showed up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. I don't watch it. And Maria Hill is probably also showed up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. I don't watch it. Okay, I think that's everyone. Though if I miss some minor or major characters, you know, that's okay. The internet, it's a very forgiving place. Right, so early on in the trailer, we get Tony Stark looking real sad, surrounded by debris and an orange haze. From what we get, it seems like to me that Thanos invades Earth, bringing with him a machine that pulls apart the city, and I think this might be the aftermath of that. That being said, it could be an entirely other planet, and maybe this big circular thing acts as a portal to it. Also, it takes quite a bit to throw Tony Stark, so I'm thinking that somebody important dies in this battle. But I'll get back to who I think that might be in a bit. It looks like in this fight though, Thanos is able to beat the Hulk back into Bruce Banner. We get this shot right after we initially see him, and he's fully clothed. So I think this may be before, and this may be after. Or this might even be when the Hulk arrives back on Earth. The thing about Thanos is, he's a powerful being all by himself, with impossible strength. However, in the past, we have seen him sporting armor. Here though, that's not the case. His strength has grown over the course of several movies, as highlighted by the film's directors.
It's a spiritual journey for him to collect the stones, and one with which he does not need armor to, once he starts acquiring stones, he doesn't require armor the same way that he did when he was a warlord. So it's a very symbolic costume.
The Infinity Stones we see him in possession of look to be the Power Stone, which was last seen with the Nova Corps on Xandar, meaning that place is probably wrecked as shit, and the Space Stone, which it looks like Loki hands over to him. That leaves a few more for him to get his hands on. One we see getting pulled out of the Vision's head, which is the Mind Stone. The Reality Stone was given to the Collector by the Asgardians for safekeeping. The Time Stone Doctor Strange has, and the Soul Stone is currently a no-show. The Infinity Gauntlet in this trailer is also different from the one that we've seen before. It could be a different one entirely, or perhaps, you know, they just did some subtle tweaking. Thanos, though, he's not alone in coming to Earth. With him, he brings an army of identical monsters, which is everyone's favorite superhero trope, as well as the Black Order. In the comics, Thanos' army and minions consist of outcasts from various planets. The Black Order is made up of Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Cull Obsidian. Soon to be household names. These guys are more of Thanos' adopted children. Like Gamora and Nebula, except they're still siding with him, and they're all fairly ugly, so I doubt any of them will change sides. The clearest look we get at one of them is here. This is Proxima Midnight. You can tell because that's her spear, and also this is her face. Their weapons also appear to have the ability to manipulate the Infinity Stones, and they look fairly close in nature to Loki's old staff, which would make sense seeing as Loki almost certainly got that from Thanos. This weapon here looks like it belongs to Corvus Glaive, as it's got the same pointy bit on the end. Man, I'm so good at trailer breakdowns. I'm one of the best, probably. I'm really good at doing this completely pointless thing. This fight, though, I think takes place between the Vision, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, and Scarlett Johansson, who looks like she's digging right into a member of the Black Order. Maybe digging right in till they're dead. There's a couple of huge reveals, though, with the Vision in this trailer. 1, he looks like he's in real strife here, and 2, he's seen in human form. This might be a result of having the Mind Stone ripped from his head, and this glowing mark might be the residual energy of that, or it's his human form he takes when going incognito. We've seen in the past that he has limited shape-shifting abilities, so this might be just a progression of that. Or maybe it's just a progression of Paul Bettany doesn't want to sit in a makeup chair for 6 hours every day. Man, there sure are some nice looking new costumes in this trailer. Some really fresh and cool looks, you know? And weirdly enough, this video's sponsor is all about fresh and cool looks. Because Mack Weldon, they are a quality clothing company that have sweet looking hoodies, underwear, undershirts, t-shirts, polos, socks, sweats, which are all famously antimicrobial, which basically means you can wear them all day and they're still really fresh. They also fit really well. They are genuinely my favorite t-shirts. I got like a bunch of them. This is actually me right now wearing one. Look at that shirt. I mean, ignore the face, but look at that t-shirt. So if you like clothing that's not terrible, maybe check them out by visiting mackweldon.com and use the offer code Mr. Sunday Movies, all one word, for 20% off your purchase. All of that is linked below. Okay, let's talk Thor. Now in this trailer, it seems like Thor is in a little bit of bloody trouble. As mentioned, he's probably going to get real close to Thanos, and in addition to that, he's probably going to get beaten pretty badly. We see a bunch of dead bodies strewn about. I think these might be some of the Asgardian refugees, and we also get Loki handing over the Tesseract, which confirms that, yeah, he did swipe it from Odin's vault at the conclusion of Ragnarok. He also looks like he's been through the ringer. I think he's probably on the side of good until he's all, oh no, I'm about to be punched so hard. Also, I think Thanos probably kills him, or at least thinks he does. I mean, he's got no need for him anymore. Not that it matters if he does die, for time travel reasons that I'll get back to. The Tesseract is also probably how Thanos manages to arrive on Earth instantaneously, like Loki did with it in the Avengers. But yeah, this I think is Thor maybe separating a part of his ship so some Asgardians can escape, or destroying the core of Thanos' ship. But as was seen in the Comic-Con trailer, he's flung off into space and meets up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Also in that Comic-Con trailer that you can actually find in pretty, low quality, it leaked online, Thor still has 2 eyes to avoid Ragnarok spoilers. So they've added an eye patch in post. Or, they filmed this scene twice. I don't know, whatever's easier. It looks like Wakanda is also going to play a huge part in this film, which lines up with this coming off the back of the Black Panther film being released in Feb. Wakanda being a hidden city makes sense as a place that the Avengers will retreat to. Here we get reintroduced to Bucky, just loving having his arm back, and loving machine guns, as well as the Falcon and War Machine, who, like the Falcon, can fly, but, his face is covered, which... Cover your face, at least cover your mouth. Get bugs and shit in it. We also get an updated Hulkbuster armor, which we haven't seen since Age of Ultron, and Steve Rogers sporting a pair of panther-like gauntlets. So when T'Challa says, "Get this man a shield," somebody must have responded, "Yeah, we don't have a shield." So then he probably said, "Get this man some cat-like gauntlets." What is weird though, is that you'd think Tony Stark would have given Captain America his shield back. I mean, they're both there at this battle. Just give him his shield back. You don't need it, you've got like 1,000 Iron Man suits. Okay. So people are predicting that we'll be getting a number of significant deaths in Avengers Infinity War. There are a few characters that we don't see in the trailer, which could hint towards them. That includes Ant-Man, Hawkeye, and Nick Fury, though we do hear his voiceover. So yeah, they could be dead, or they could be off doing other things. But we also see a number of Avengers in the trailer that don't appear later on Wakanda. Okay, so the Guardians, they're probably off doing space stuff, but Doctor Strange doesn't show up, and neither does Wong or Spider-Man. We do see that sweet Iron Spider suit from the end of Homecoming, which he might be first putting on here, after Tony Stark calls it. See how the eyes kind of light up? And we also get Spider-Man being completely battered by Thanos. I'd say there's a fair chance that Peter Parker is killed early on, and Tony Stark is devastated because it's probably his fault or something, because most things are his fault. Also, they really, bonded in that Spider-Man film or whatever. However, yeah, we are due for a couple of deaths in the MCU. Nobody significant has died and stayed dead since, really ever. I mean, Quicksilver doesn't count, who cares? But when telling a story involving the Infinity Stones, you're afforded the luxury of going back in time and fixing any problems that may have occurred, as we saw at the end of Doctor Strange. We've seen time travel used again and again in the comics to fix certain problems. A good example of this being the Age of Ultron comic, which had lots of time travel, not like Age of Ultron the movie, which had no time travel. That's really how I tell these two things apart. Also, one had Wolverine as the main character. Also, one is a story told through pictures and text, and the other is a series of fast scrolling images coupled with sound in order to replicate movement to present a narrative. Look, basically, it doesn't matter how many Infinity Stones Thanos gets, as long as one of the Avengers has the Time Stone. Also, in relation to who's dead and who's where and who's not, Marvel trailers have a history of omitting certain characters or certain things, perhaps due to unfinished special effects or even to avoid spoilers. So literally any character can be dropped into any scene. And that, as they say, is the end of the trailer breakdown. Very nearly. I got some questions. I'd love to know if you've got a prediction for what might happen in Infinity War. Like a death or whatnot, or even something to add that I've missed from this trailer, which is unlikely. I'm very thorough, and I've never made a mistake or missed anything. But still, feel free to comment below. Also, there's new videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. A recent video being on how we got that Justice League movie that we ended up with. You notice there's a big contrast between this and the Justice League. I mean, it is the third Avengers film, but still. Oof. Also, if you are interested, I have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. This week's episode just released. We got into superhero fatigue and whether there's too much superhero stuff going on at the moment. And this Monday, we're talking even more Avengers Infinity War. More predictions, more trailer breaking down, more other things. Here's a clip to give you an idea of what that's all about.
Do you think it's possible
Yes.
that maybe they should just rest bench Batman for a little bit? I mentioned this last week.
They did it for a while and it worked great guns.
Yeah.
What was the difference? What was the Batman Begins
97 or 2005. It was
Right,
8
okay.
years.
It was 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There was a poll on our Planet Broadcasting group, Planet Broadcasting Great Mates.
Check
and
it
was,
out.
who's the best Batman? I think Affleck was way out in front.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think it's Affleck that they like. I like that version of Batman because it's the production design of the suit.
Yeah.
And
The goggles.
the goggles. I love the goggles.
The musculature.
Yeah, the musculature, the bat symbol. Like, it looks...
Yeah, it's great.
It's the most comic booky of the Batmans, I think. They've given him the voice synthesizer so he doesn't have to put on the stupid voice.
Yep.
It's got like the Arkham heads-up display in his gauntlet. It's got all that sort of stuff.
But he's a killer.
But he's a killer. Exactly right. And they like that he's a killer.
Yeah.
He's finally taken the safeties off.
So this is normally the bit where I say there's videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday and whatnot, and to subscribe, I guess. Did I say that already? I don't know. And like of the video, the things that you say at the end of a video. I got to put this in here because there's got to be like a 20-second gap so you can put in the title card so people could have time to click on them. I mean, feel free to go, but if you want to click on one of those, that would be great. But you don't have to because you made it this far into the video, and I appreciate you watching. Take care.